You know, a couple of years ago, I did a video where I looked at video game collections on the Nintendo Switch. It was one of my most popular videos at the time. It's something that I have a passion for. I love being able to buy one cartridge and get a bunch of games. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jay, welcome to Square Pegs, and I'm back again because I can't stop buying collections. I've got 12 more I want to talk to you about, and we're kicking things off with one from Nintendo themselves, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. You know, for me, I got to start things off strong, and I'm going with one of my favorites on the Nintendo Switch, and that is Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, a remaster of the first two Advance Wars games from the Game Boy Advance, done by WayForward and released by Nintendo. I adore this game. This is one that I waited on for over a year, just like everyone else. It was something where I wanted this game so bad. I'm such a huge fan of the Advance Wars series. Like, I love this more than I love Fire Emblem, and I wanted to get this when it was first announced, just because I was really excited about the opportunity to play Advance Wars 1 and 2 again. And the game doesn't disappoint. Multiplayer leaves a little bit to be desired, I won't lie to you, but the single-player campaigns on both games are fantastic, and I think it's just a brilliant collection of games to have on the Switch. You know, Advance Wars being a portable game at its core to begin with, and being able to take it on the go with the Nintendo Switch, it's like butter. It's a perfect combination. NIS America has been consistently one of my favorite publishers for the Nintendo Switch, and one of the things that I really like that they do are their NIS Classics series. Prinny Presents NIS Classics Volume 1 is, in particular, a fantastic collection because it gets you two wonderful games in a beautiful collector's edition packaging. You get Phantom Brave and Soul Nomad, which is like two of the best kind of strategy RPGs from the PS1, PS2 generation. I am blown away by this collection. I think it's fantastic. I think it runs incredibly well, and the updates that NIS America did are just great. It looks and just sounds beautiful on the Nintendo Switch, and when docked on a big screen, it's perfect. If you love classic RPGs, this is one that needs to be in your collection because, I mean, NIS does strategy RPGs better than anybody, really. And this one is just a fantastic collection to have. Any of the Prinny Presents games are great, as is just the Prinny collection itself with Prinny 1 and 2. But this one, to me, is my personal favorite. I just talked about this one the other day, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, but Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster is one of the most shocking collections I think I could have gotten on the Nintendo Switch. Not something I expected whatsoever, not something I anticipated, but I am so thankful to have it because I love the original Baten Kaitos games on the GameCube, and I foolishly sold them years ago just because it was a transition to a new console generation. I wasn't hanging on to my GameCube stuff. I regret it immensely, but I have it back now here on the Nintendo Switch, and this gives me both Baten Kaitos Eternal Wings in the Lost Ocean and Baten Kaitos Origins, with improved graphics, new game features, and some help with game progression, which is really nice, making the games a little bit easier to play because they were fairly unforgiving back in the day. These are brilliant RPG deck builders, and I just absolutely love having them. I love having them on a modern console. I love being able to play them whenever I want. Super great collection. There is a physical release out there. I mentioned this in my last video. So there's a physical release, and it was pointed out to me that there was not a US release, and that is true. But the worldwide release that you can get either through Amazon or PlayAsia does come in an English language release. So consider that. It is well worth picking up. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection is one of my favorite collections ever released. For any console, any generation, it is just brilliant. You get such a stack of incredible games, all releasing between 1989 and 1994. God, it's incredible to me to think that we got all these incredible games in a 5-year span. So to start off, you get Ninja Turtles from the NES, Ninja Turtles from the arcade, Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game from the NES, Follow the Foot Clan on the Game Boy, Turtles in Time for the arcade, Back from the Sewers on the Game Boy, Manhattan Project on the NES, Turtles in Time on the SNES, Hyperstone Heist on the Genesis, Radical Rescue on the Game Boy, Tournament Fighters on the SNES, Tournament Fighters on the Genesis, and Tournament Fighters on the NES. This is an amazing collection. The gameplay is spectacular. There is improvements to every single game that fixes some of the problems inherent with each of their original designs doing things like fixing flicker, like giving you the ability to turn off the auto dash in games like Turtles in Time. By making them a little bit more user-friendly and a little bit more accessible, it's fantastic. But then you also have the museum for each game that gives you instruction manuals and box art and tech specs for things like the arcade machines. It's mind-blowing, the creativity and the care that went into this collection. This one is just absolutely fantastic. One of the greatest collections ever released, like I said, for any console generation, for any subject. It's perfect. Alright, so Pac-Man Museum Plus is going to lure you in with the idea of being able to customize your own arcade. Ignore that. Completely ignore that because it's dumb, it's kind of boring, it's silly after you do it like twice. It's just like, you're like, I don't care. I just don't care about this. What you're here for, though, is the 14 Pac-Man games that are available on this collection because each of them is amazing. You get the original Pac-Man, Super Pac-Man, Pac-and-Pal, Pac-Land, Pac-Mania, my personal favorite, Pac-Attack, Pac-in-Time, Pac-Man Arrangement Arcade version, Pac-Man Arrangement CS version, Pac-Man Championship Edition, Pac-Motos, Pac-and-Roll Remix, Pac-Man Battle Royal, and Pac-Man 256, which is legit one of my favorite mobile games, and being able to play it on the Switch is awesome. You're able to play this multiplayer with friends or family. It's just, it's brilliant. Fantastic collection. If you love Pac-Man at all, you need this game in your life. This one might be a bit of a curious inclusion because I'm not the biggest Atari fan, but even I cannot deny the absolute greatness that is Atari 50, the anniversary celebration. First and foremost, a just absolutely massive, massive appreciation to what Digital Eclipse was able to put together here. This is a history lesson. This goes beyond just a collection of games. This is a history of Atari put together in one of the slickest presentations I've ever seen. Like, this is, of all the collections I have on the Switch, this is the only one I think of as 100% must own just for people that are fans or that are just interested in the history of the video game industry, because this is so important to tell the story of Atari. There's over 90 games on this collection, which is amazing. They could have just done 50, it's in the name, but they went with over 90, and they're actually adding more, along with a new release later this year that's going to put this over 130 games. But let's just go over some of the big names on this list. So Atari 800, you can get Miner 2049er. Atari 2600, there's stuff like Asteroids, Breakout, Centipede, Food Fight, Haunted House, Gravatar, Millipede, Yar's Revenge. From the 5200, you can get Missile Command, Millipede, Super Breakout. 7800 gives you Asteroids, Centipede, Ninja Golf, arcade games, Asteroids, Asteroids Deluxe, Black Widow, which I love, Centipede, Breakout, Crystal Castles, which is one of my favorite arcade experiences, Missile Command, Maze Invaders, Liberator, iRobot, Lunar Lander, Quantum. There's just a ton of games offered on here. Seriously, even if you're not an Atari fan, like I'm not, the history alone included on this game is worth the price of admission. Alright, I admit I am predisposed to liking Mega Man. It's my favorite video game franchise of all time. And I'm very excited to have the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection because I love the Mega Man Battle Network games as well, and to be able to get them all under one roof is fantastic. And hey, it's on sale right now until the 8th of July on the eShop for $30, just as a heads up if you're okay with getting this digitally. This collection, though, is magnificent. This features the following games from the Mega Man Battle Network series. You get the first game, you get Mega Man Battle Network 2, you get Mega Man Battle Network 3's Blue and White, Mega Man Battle Network 4 Red Sun and Blue Moon, Mega Man Battle Network 5 Team Proto Man and Team Colonel, and Mega Man Battle Network 6 Cybeast Grigar and Cybeast Falzar. I absolutely love them. If you haven't played these before, these are basically real-time strategy deck building games where you're going to be moving Mega Man around a basic play grid. You're going to use the different cards that you have given to you. They have to fit certain criteria to be able to use them, and you use them to attack the enemies that are on screen. It's a really fun game, and it's a lot of, I don't want to call it twitchy, but it's a lot of reactionary gameplay that works incredibly well and is very, very fun. Love this collection. I've loved every single one of the Mega Man Legacy collections that has been released thus far by Capcom. Fingers crossed for a Mega Man Legends 1, 2, and Tronbon. And I love this one as well. I think it's a fantastic collection, a wonderful addition to a fantastic series that Capcom has been putting out pretty regularly now. Now there are two Neo Geo Pocket Color selections out there, and both of them are really fun, but I want to talk to you about Pocket Color Selection Volume 1 because I think of the two of them, it is the stronger of the series. Now, let's get something out of the way on both of them real quick. Both of them allow you to look at 3D renderings of the cartridges, allow you to look at the instruction manuals, and it allows you to actually have what looks like the Neo Geo Pocket Color on screen as your presentation. Now, the games available in Color Selection Volume 1, I think, are significantly beyond what is available in Color Selection Volume 2. So in Collection 1, you get the following games: SNK Gals Fighters, Samurai Showdown 2, King of Fighters R2, The Last Blade Beyond the Destiny, Fatal Fury First Contact, SNK vs. Capcom Match of the Millennium, Metal Slug First Mission, Metal Slug Second Mission, Dark Arms Beast Buster 1999, and Big Tournament Golf. I just love this collection. I'm a huge fan of the Neo Geo Pocket Color anyway, so to get these in a collected edition on the Switch just blew my mind. Love having this. I think in the grand pantheon of video games, Final Fantasy might be one of the most influential franchises on me, just because it kind of was the perfect version of an RPG on a home console for me. I had my heavier RPGs on PC or on my Commodore 64 with things like the Bard's Tale 2, but on a home console, Final Fantasy is what really broke the mold with its original release. I was excited about the Pixel remasters. I was very interested in them, but I didn't know if I was going to be able to find the collection, and mercifully I was able to get it on PlayAsia, and I'm so happy I did because it's a magnificent collection of Final Fantasies 1 through 6, each one touched up, each one remade, each one with graphical improvements and quality of life improvements that just make them significantly more fun to play, and in some cases easier to play, or at least more forgiving to play, so it's not as much of a grind. There is still a grind, let's be honest here, but it's not as much of a grind, so you can actually enjoy yourself a little bit better. I love this collection. Just the fact that I got Final Fantasy VI on the Nintendo Switch is a treat for me, but to get the other 5 games as well in this collection is magnificent. It is a little bit expensive as far as a physical release goes, but I personally think it's worth it, just because they're some of the greatest games of all time. To have them all in one-stop shopping is perfect. Take two of the best Sonic games released from wildly different genres, and you have one of the best collections on the Nintendo Switch. First off, this gets you Team Sonic Racing, which is a great kart racing game featuring the classic Sonic characters. Is it as good as All-Star Racing's Transform? No, I don't think it's as good as that one, but it's still a really fun game. Still works really well. It looks great. It sounds great. And it's fast, and that's really what you want from a Sonic game. The real reason you're picking this one up, though, is to have a physical copy of Sonic Mania, which is the best 2D Sonic game since probably Sonic CD, as far as I'm concerned. This game is just unbelievably mind-blowing quality. It's fantastic. It feels like a classic Sonic game, just touched up to be perfect for modern audiences. It is lightning fast. It is brilliantly designed with amazing level designs and some fantastic gameplay and just memorable characters everywhere. Great Robotnik machines. Like, that's one of the most important things for a Sonic game to me, is to have a memorable Robotnik machine, and you get that in this game. It's wonderful. Sonic Mania is fantastic, and getting Team Sonic Racing as an addition is perfect. There you have it, my friends. 12 amazing collections that you can buy on the Switch right now. These are all physical releases. There are plenty of digital collections as well, but these are physical ones I wanted to talk about. Just think they're great. I think there's some really amazing stuff in here, like Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD. Who saw that coming? That was not something I had on my card as getting remastered for this generation, but I am so stoked that it's here. And I mean, the Capcom Fighting Collection and Turtles Cowabunga Collection, man, these are just speaking my language. I love that we're getting so many compilations this console generation. I think it's fantastic. Now, I do see a lot of people's points that we're running out of ideas. And to that, I say, too bad. I like getting collections. I like getting remasters. I think they add value to an already fantastic console generation. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about video game collections? And if you dig them, what are your favorites on this console generation? Be sure to click the card on screen right now. If you want to check out my previous video, link will also be down in the description down below. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, why don't you click the thumbs up button down below? The engagement helps the channel out. We're here at the end of the video, and if you're still here, I think that's amazing. I would really appreciate it if you'd click subscribe and just hang out for a while. I'm doing a couple videos a week, and I do a short daily, so If you're looking for content, I'm happy to provide it. Hey, I'm going to be at the Southeast Game Exchange in 5 days in Greenville, South Carolina. That's right, the 6th and 7th, right after the 4th of July holiday. If you find yourself in the area, please be sure to stop by. I would love to say hi. I would love to spend some time with you, let you know how much I appreciate you being a viewer. It means the world to me that you're here. Till next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.